everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. It is Friday, January 21st, 2022. I'm here again to basically follow up on a story that a lot of people were following last year, during the fall time, like in October, I believe. And I had come here a couple times and made a couple videos about it, and it's so sad that that she was missing. Gabby Petito, that's what I'm speaking about. She went on a road trip with her boyfriend Brian Laundrie, and she was blogging, she was doing videos and things like that, and then she was missing. He actually returned home. You guys know the story. He returned home, and then his body was found a couple weeks after. He was the main suspect in this whole thing. And I gotta tell you guys, there's a lot of rumors when this whole thing happened. The family is covering for him. Why? And it's strange. Like, no matter how much you love your loved ones, you still know deep down who they are. Especially when, like, your family, the close family, the people that grew up with you, your parents have seen you and know you since you were a young person. They know how you are. Sometimes people do hide things that we like, that he will never do something like that. But when you know the person like 100%, you can't just like be like, oh, he's my relative, I will never say anything negative about him, because at the end of the day somebody else's life was on the line. But anyways, the reason that I say that is that these days everybody is really good at pretending to be something that they're not. Okay, transparency is out of the window. We put our best work out there for the world to see using social media and pretending that we're all happy and everything. Gabby did a lot of posts where she looked, she was saying how happy she was to be on the road trip and whatever, and you could tell, like, is she, you wonder, like, did she really just woke up, or she was crying for a while? And that's just observation that I noticed in some of her posting, because I'm like, wait a second, she looks like she was just crying. And but then I'm like, I don't know if she looks like she just waking up, or I wasn't sure. But they got caught by the police. They got stopped by the police in that road trip, and she was crying. The police didn't even had any hint that something was going on, like abusive type of way. They just thought it was a couple's fight. They let them go. They put them in separate places to sleep for the night, and then they let them go. And then this guy, he returned back home. Like, are you kidding me? She is your fiance. I believe they were engaged. Like, you're gonna go on a road trip, very well known. Everybody in your family knows that you're going away, and you're gonna go return back home, and you're missing your other half, and people are just gonna act like everything's back to normal. Like, even if it was my brother, sometimes I'd be like, where is she? Where is your fiance? Like, why are you back here? Where is she? And that will create a big suspicion. But anyways, the reason that I'm making this video, and I do apologize for making the intro so long, but this story was having a lot of press. When it first came out during the fall, she was missing, and then her body was found, and then his body was found, and then basically everything stopped. Nobody talked about them anymore. But that's why I needed to kind of give you like a backstory of it. But anyways, they found him, and in some of his belongings, the FBI is saying now that in some of the belongings that he belonged to Brian Laundrie, especially his notebook, he actually claimed responsibility for her death. And I think that this is one of the things that shocked me about relationships, guys. I would never understand how you can be so deep with somebody to the point that you're spending so much time with them, you're living together and all of that, and then out of nowhere, like, it's a hateful relationship to the point that you in your head have the ability to take somebody else's life. That to me is just like I cannot understand it. I understand it happens a lot, quite often, but I just still don't understand how people can go from that point of, being so in love, being together for many years, or for a few months, whatever, and then to just completely to the point that you have feelings to make that person disappear, basically. And that, to me, I don't understand it. The case of Shannon Watts, I still don't get it, guys. I don't know how somebody can go from having that family with the young kids, the great house, and everything, to be so vulnerable to the point that somebody at work is gonna come in and you basically are willing to give everything up like that, and you're gonna kill your family, and you're gonna think that you're gonna go back to normal life and everything will be wonderful. Like, I understand that's the devil at work. I understand that's the devil at work, but it's just so sad to me that somebody, a human mind, can actually go from that to the results that we've seen in cases like this, like the Chris Watts and Jonathan Watts, and now Brian Laundrie. FBI finding evidence that he actually is responsible for, Gabby Petito's death. And I think, basically at the end of the day, we all kind of knew, there's no way, no matter how much, when you just have a sense of, yeah, we know he did it, but why is he hiding? Like, no matter how much innocent you think you are, even if the whole world is saying you're guilty, show your face, okay? But this guy, he was hiding since day one. The guilt, he couldn't, it was eating him up. And I think, then we get a case like Chris Watts' case, and I didn't mean to talk about him that much in this video, but he knew he was guilty, but he still showed up and acted like nothing happened. But then, his whole body demeanor gave him away, because that's just human nature, especially when you're hiding something. Anyways, guys, so, let me just read to you a little bit of this article. I don't want to make the video too long, but Brian Laundrie wrote that he was responsible for Gabby Petito's death. So, Brian Laundrie left behind writing showing his responsibility for the death of his girlfriend, Gabby Petito, whose disappearance last year launched a massive search from Utah to Florida. Federal investigators formally closed the book on the probe that ended with the discovery of the body of Petito, a 22-year-old social media influencer, on September 19 in Wyoming. Laundrie's body was found in Florida on October 20th. All logical investigative steps has been concluded in this case, the FBI in Denver said. The investigation did not identify any other individual responsible for Brian Laundrie's direct involvement in the tragic death of Gabby Petito. The FBI primary focus throughout the investigation was to bring justice to Gabby and her family. Laundrie's body was found in a nature preserve not far from his parents' home in Florida. A search of the area also turned up a backpack, a notebook, and a revolver linked to Laundrie. A review of the notebook, okay, this is where they saw that he actually confessed to it. A review of the notebook revealed written statements by Mr. Laundrie claiming her responsibility for Petito's death. So, a Florida medical examiner ruled that Laundrie died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, at least, and that Gabby died by strangulation at least 3 weeks before her remains were found. I think it's just sad. Like I said, nobody wins in these cases. I think it's very tragic, and I pray for their families, because even the family of Brian, you don't want anybody to go through something like this. This is so tragic, and I think that you have to pay attention to people. A lot of the time, what I notice, just having noticing with other people, a lot of the people who are so OP and everything like that, they turn to social media just to get that type of attention. They're not really like that. And, I was just watching something about when somebody was saying like, stop scrolling somebody else's stories on Instagram. And I was like, why is that so bad? Like, I just thinking to myself, why is that so bad? And I'm like, oh, I get it. People will never post, their bad days on social media. Everything is pretty good and everything is perfect. And you have to be so careful with things like that. And also, you have to know how people react when you do great things. People always tell you who they are. I'm not trying to say, oh, Gabby missed the point. Brian was obviously jealous of her. The thing is, like, the thing that impacted me the most about this case is that when you hit somebody in the face, okay, when you have the audacity to hit somebody in their face, and when they got stopped at the cop, that's what she said, you basically don't even want to see them alive. And I think that's just one of the biggest red flag. Okay, yes, we're allowed, we should forgive and give a clean slate to people, but know who people are. But they always show you, you know what I mean? I think when somebody's hitting you in the face, it says a lot. I don't care if they have an anger problem or they have a drinking problem, drug addiction, nothing like that. Always look out, because here you are, like, I think about her sometimes, Gabby Petito is so popular on social media, such a great following, and she was so pretty and everything like that, and this guy has the audacity to just slap her. That's crazy to me. And the way she was willing to, and I know they were far away from home, they were on a road trip and things like that, but the way that she was okay with, okay, so the police came, they separated us, and we're gonna sleep, in separate places, and tomorrow is gonna be a brand new day, we'll wash it up and continue, makes me to believe that this was not the first time that happened, okay? And abusive relationships are no joke. Verbal abuse is no joke, guys. There are people out there who act to other people like they are your biggest fan, but when you come around, they hate you. They don't want to see you, okay? And like this guy was slapping her, you know what I mean? That's crazy to me. That somebody, it could be jealousy, it could be so many things. Like I said, this is just the enemy at work, using somebody to basically destroy your life, because that's what the enemy does. And a lot of people think that just because somebody's so, like, always happy, and he's such a supportive boyfriend, always liking everything she does, he would never say anything bad about her. This guy was slapping her. Like, people care so much about their reputation. That's why, like, to be honest, I feel bad that happened to him and that he eventually lost his life, but people who are not, there are people out there who are so concerned about what other people will say about them, their reputation, that they rather look to the world like, oh, they're such a great supportive boyfriend, but at the end of the day, they could be verbally abusive, physically abusive, but to other people, they will never realize that. And then when you come around and tell people, hey, this happened, they're like, oh, I don't believe it, because he's always so supportive of her. She must be lying, That's the other thing. You always have to, when somebody comes and tells you a story, guys, always get the other person's point of view. The world is a stage, and everybody's acting something. Everybody's pretending to be something that they're not, because at the end of the day, believe it or not, people do care what other people think of them, and some people are so protective of their reputation that they don't want their bad side to be shown to anybody. So they will do everything in their power to act like the most supporting person, and then when you are with them, they're verbally abusive, saying crazy things about you. But then the other picture of that is like people are like, oh, there's such a supportive boyfriend. But then he's like verbally abusing you, physically abusing you. That is crazy to me. But anyways, guys, that was the breaking news right now about the Gabby Petitos case. Let me know what you guys think. Any comments? Thank you again so much for coming back to my channel. Have a good night, everybody. God bless. For coming back to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and share this video, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. God bless.